In the video where I demonstrated the simple jig I use to straighten the edge of a board, I got comments from people asking how you would straighten the face or flatten the face. I just take the board and drop it onto the surface and see what it looks like. Whether it's rocking on the ends, that means it's twisted, or up off the workbench in the middle, which means it's cupped. Before I go any further, I'll point out that you need a surface planer for this method to work. In my opinion, if you're going to be working with rough lumber and you don't want to do the whole thing by hand, then you need a surface planer. Along with the thickness planer, you also need something handheld to work on the piece here on the bench. My weapon of choice is the electric planer, although you can also use a big hand plane if you like to do more work. I've taken the board and I've flipped it over. The cup side is up, so it's, like this. And to keep it from rocking, keep it half decent stable, I made this very simple little holding fixture that elevates the front of the board up off the bench and also has a stop on there that I just used a couple of brads to hold on and used a couple of clamps to hold the fixture onto the workbench itself. And I'm ready to begin. However, I do need to flip this over again and figure out which side needs to be planed more. Because remember, there was a twist here. So you rock it like this. Basically the side that's going down, the side that's moving up and down, and the other side's not. The side that's not is the one that you have to plane more. So on this board, it'll be this side over here and this side over here. Now, it goes without saying that this makes a lot of mess, and I really don't have any way to effectively collect the chips from this, but what I've done is I've set up another piece of wood and try to keep them contained at least to the workbench. And I think the key to this is cleaning up as you go. Worth pointing out that hearing protection is a good idea because this thing is really loud. So I got one end started. I can take it and flip it around and do exactly the same thing. So what I'm doing here is I'm using my straight edge, and maybe I should move this so you guys can see. Using my straight edge just to check the middle and see what it looks like. It's still a little low. So that means I need to take a little bit more off each end. Okay, that looks a lot better. Now I can flip it over and see how it sits. And it's rocking just a little bit, so that means I need to take a little bit more off over here. Just quickly put that up, set up my wall again, and plane just one shot off of that side. Perfect. That didn't take very long at all, and now that it's done, I can bring it over to the planer that I've already set up and start planing the opposite face. You might be wondering about the small piece that I'm putting in before that. This is my method for eliminating snipe on the workpiece, and I have another video where I demonstrate that. The link is in the description. On August 27th, the Makers Mob will be hosting a live webinar with Jimmy DiResta. In this live event, he'll share his theory behind how he designs projects, where he finds his inspiration for the builds, and will lay out for you his step-by-step process from conception to project completion. Jimmy will also share the stories behind some of his most successful YouTube builds. So if you're ready to get inspired by the creative mind of Jimmy DiResta, before the 1,000 seats fill up, simply click the link in the description below and sign up for this free online live event. Okay, so that's the first pass. I wanted to stop here and point out what's going on. It's planing more in the middle, of course, because we plane on the ends on the other side to flatten the board, it's going to take more off in the middle to begin with. So I'm going to reset the planer and make another pass. And when I have a big enough flat area on this side, I'll flip it over and clean up the first side. All those planer marks that I had over there. So this is the side that I was planing by hand, all cleaned up, except for a spot in the middle. I gotta be honest, I don't want to plane this down any further because I'll be using a project and I don't know how thick I'll want it for that. But I've gotten it to the point now where it's flat and straight. Put it back on the workbench, check it again, and everything is sitting perfectly. When I put the straight edge on, it's not up on the ends, it's not down in the middle, everything looks really good. And you know what the best part is? It really didn't take that long. And you don't need a lot of tools. Like I said in the beginning, I think that the surface planer is a must-have tool if you're going to be working with this type of wood and you don't want to be doing it all by hand.